Portable TV. Come watch with me. From the president's camp, we'll bring you that as well. China has launched the first experimental 6G satellite in a plan to roll out the next ultra-fast network technology in 10 years. China, that's right, where they're dominant. Technology. Here's RT's John Huddy.
The University of Electronic Science and Technology of China, along with the Chinese Embassy in the U.S. and Chinese state media, posted this video of a rocket carrying 13 satellites into orbit November 6th. Among them, a 6G testing satellite. It will reportedly test the technology of terahertz waves in space. Essentially, terahertz waves are high-frequency radiation, allowing data to travel at 50 gigabits a second, or 100 times faster than today's wireless technology. China is reportedly working with telecommunications specialists from other universities, institutions, and corporations worldwide to study the new technology to see if it works. The University of Electronic Science and Technology of China's website says it has educational and research collaborations with other universities worldwide, including a dozen American universities, though it's unclear if any Americans are involved in this project. Speaking of America, though, it's likely China's latest rocket launch has the attention of the U.S. government as well, considering the rocket also carried 10 other satellites with remote sensing technology to reportedly be used for crop disaster management and forest fire prevention, along with 2 other satellites to be used for in-orbit experiments such as laser data transmission and Earth observation. China is upping its space race by launching 32 rockets so far this year and could hit 40 by the end of the year. China led the world in launches both in 2018 and 2019. The country's Tianwen-1 probe is already on its way to Mars, and China is also expected to launch another rocket this month, carrying equipment to collect and return lunar samples. For RT, John Huddy.
Man, good stuff, John. You know, you're left kind of scratching your head, right? What the hell isn't China doing? I mean, they're omnipresent. They're everywhere. And in the world of technology, I mean, it almost looks like they have dominion over most countries, including, some would argue, us here in the United States. One guy who may actually make that argument is Professor of Economics, Richard Wolff, who's good enough to join us now. Set the scene for us, Professor. What's going on with China? I mean, they're just blatantly trying to put a full court press on everything, it seems, and especially high tech.
Absolutely, and I hate to say it, but I really have to say, people like me have been telling you that and telling other media folks that for quite some time now. It's a kind of myopia here in the United States. You don't want to face it, don't want to see it, but the Chinese have made extraordinary strides and are now leaders, as you quite rightly say, in a number of fields. We're barely catching up to them in 5G. They're already on to 6G. Many places in the world want to be part of that newer, faster technology because it will have apps that 5G cannot support. So you're seeing the process of economic development simply rushing further and further along. And the irony is not that we're working out some coexisting deal with them, which is what we should, but we're kind of late in the game in the name of this situation, shaking our fists. Trump did it a lot. Hopefully Biden will do less of it. We have to come to terms with what's going on there. We can't stop it, and we're going to have to learn to live with it.
I read a lot of your writings, and I listen to some of your podcasts, and one of the things that struck me that you explained so well is we're essentially getting from China what we set China up to do. We're the ones who asked them to make the hardware and software for the tech companies in the United States because, as you explain it, they could do it cheaper. They got really good at doing what we asked them to do, and now we're pulling it back, it seems, right?
Yeah, and it's a little bit of the old story, you're too late at the game. They made us a deal. They said American companies, high-tech companies, could take advantage of the low wages in China and could take advantage of the expanding market. But what they had to give in exchange was sharing the technology. That's not intellectual thievery. That's a deal. No one put a gun to the head of the American companies that for the last 25 years have rushed in to take advantage. They, in turn, have taken very good advantage of what they got out of that deal. It's a little bit like what happened with the United States when we were a new country. We got a lot of benefits that we took from Great Britain. Eventually, we surpassed Great Britain, and they had to come to terms with it. We're now in the reverse situation, and we're going to have to face it because there's really not much we can do other than work out a coexisting, livable deal with the Chinese, which at least to this point, they say they want as well.
We got what we asked for. Well put,
Yep.
as usual. Professor, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you once again, my friend. All right.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
Thank you.